What's going on, guys? It's Greg here, aka NYPrepper. It is Wednesday, March 27th, 2024, and I have another emergency alert to share with you guys. Right now, it is 22:44 Eastern Time here in the United States, and we have some major breaking news coming in from Belarus again. More bad news coming in. So what you're looking at here is video footage showing a massive amount of German military equipment that has been moved to Medininkai, Lithuania. And Medininkai is a tiny town, literally 1 mile from the border with Belarus. And you can see here a massive amount of tanks, trucks, and what appear to be fuel trucks as well, and recovery vehicles. Check this out, guys. You can see the German cross on these armored fighting vehicles. That means that they're German, okay? And you can see that the whole vehicle is spray painted camouflage, even the wheels and tires, okay? You don't do that unless you're getting ready to go to war, okay? And this comes literally just a day after the president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, paid a visit to a Belarusian army outpost just 5 miles from the border with Lithuania. And he said that the Baltics and Poland are going to be basically invaded by the Belarusian army, and they're going to try to take the Suwalki Gap. He paid a visit to the local military commander, and they had a conversation about how they would invade Poland and Lithuania. So this is very, very serious, guys. NATO is now deploying forces to the border of Belarus. So literally, these NATO forces that you see here and the Belarusian forces are now probably just 10 miles apart. Okay, and I'm going to show you on the map where this is all happening. But if you remember last week and the week before, I was sharing with you guys the information about this new Belarusian brigade, a mechanized brigade of the Belarusian army that was moved to within just 10 miles of the Lithuanian border. That was the 19th Mechanized Brigade of the Belarusian army, and it has like 70 T-72s, hundreds of BMPs, and various types of infantry fighting vehicles, armored fighting vehicles like the BTRs. They have dozens of artillery systems, and they've even recruited thousands of soldiers, and they put this brigade on wartime status now, and all this equipment is now just 10 miles from Lithuania. Well, now NATO is responding, and they're moving whatever they have in the region to the border of Belarus, literally just a mile from the border. This is in Medininkai, okay? And there's one main road that goes through this area. It comes from Belarus and it goes straight to the capital of Lithuania, Vilnius. Vilnius is literally like 20 miles from the border of Belarus. Belarus could literally go right on one highway and get to the capital of Lithuania in probably an hour, okay, if they don't have anybody stopping them. So now NATO is taking note and they're responding. And Poland has now started training teenagers on how to use military weapons, specifically javelins, in the event of a full-scale war with Russia and Belarus. And yesterday in Belarus, the military commissariats of the Brest region began conscription of 1,000 soldiers to staff units of the 120th Brigade of the Belarusian army. So they're drafting people in Belarus, guys, and it's happening quietly. Okay, the West is not picking up on this, but I think we're on the verge of what many people have feared for years, and that's an attack on the Suwalki Gap. Okay, Belarus, with the help of Russia, are going to try to cut off the Baltics from the rest of NATO by connecting Kaliningrad to Belarus and making a land bridge there. Okay, and the president of Belarus, Alexander Lukashenko, literally said this yesterday when he was meeting with a local military commander. And that military commander is literally just 10 miles away from all this equipment you see here. Okay, and he said that everything's in place, that they've been planning this for a long time, and they've moved all the troops to the area, and they're just waiting for the green light from Lukashenko. So I think it's going to happen. I think we're going to see an attack on NATO, the unthinkable. I think we're going to see it happen this spring or this summer, and I think it's going to happen simultaneously as Russia launches a new offensive in Ukraine. It's going to happen at the same time. So Belarus and or Russia are going to go into Lithuania, potentially northeast Poland, and try to take the Suwalki Gap, or at the very least make a small incursion to give NATO something to worry about and focus on. And simultaneously, Russia is going to go into Ukraine and try to break through the lines. So this is very, very serious, guys, okay? And this is where this is all happening. Here's a map. You can see Belarus and Lithuania, and here's the Suwalki Gap, okay? Kaliningrad is a Russian province that is left over from the USSR, and it's stuck between Lithuania and Poland, and this is the notorious Suwalki Gap. It's a small piece of land between Belarus and Kaliningrad, and if Russia were to make a land bridge here, they would basically cut off the Baltics from any kind of land resupply, and then Russia could take all of the Baltics. But here we have Vilnius, the capital of Lithuania, and Medininkai is right here. You see Medininkai right there. This is where all that equipment has gone to. And there's this one highway here, the M7 highway or E28, and it literally goes from Ashmiany, which is where that brigade was moved to, the one that's been put on wartime status, and where the president of Belarus met with the commander. That was right here. There's literally a straight shot right to Vilnius on this highway. Okay, so NATO has moved forces here to Medininkai, and Belarus already has forces in this area. Okay, they've already set up an armed checkpoint here with tanks and BMPs on this highway. So they're expecting a war, guys. There's going to be a war. Okay, get prepared. It's going to really escalate. People are going to start freaking out. This update was sponsored by My Patriot Supply. Guys, My Patriot Supply has brought back their 25% discount on their 3-month emergency food supply. And to get the discount, you got to use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com. And the link is in the description below this video. But this 3-month emergency food supply has a 25-year shelf life. It includes over 2,000 calories per day. Breakfasts, lunches, dinners, drinks, and snacks, all contained within 6 rugged water-resistant buckets, and free shipping is included. So use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com to get $200 off or 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply. The link is in the description below this video. Free shipping is included. They also have a general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival products, and they're always running various discounts. And to get to their general store, you just got to click on the My Patriot Supply logo when you get to preparewithNYPrepper.com at the top of the page, and you'll see their general store where they sell all kinds of prepping and survival products, and they're always running discounts here. So use the link preparewithNYPrepper.com to get 25% off of the My Patriot Supply 3-month emergency food supply, and the link is in the description below this video. And here's a video of Lukashenko, the president of Belarus, meeting with his commander at that Ashmiany village. And he says, but at the moment, you will have to resist the Baltic republics He's talking about going into the Suwalki Gap, and he's saying that basically the Belarusian army would have to resist an attack from the Baltic republics while they go into the Suwalki Gap. And then he says also, you're going to have to take over part of Poland. And then the commander says there is a small part of Poland, the northeastern part of Poland. So get prepared, guys. I'm telling you, all hell is going to break loose this spring as soon as the ground dries up, which is not going to be that much longer because the winter's been very mild over there in Eastern Europe. We're going to see multiple fronts opening up. And here we have a picture showing the location of this new brigade in Belarus, and it was moved literally to 16 kilometers from the border of Lithuania, okay? And this brigade is on wartime status now, okay? And look at all the equipment it has: 62 T-72s, 219 combat armored vehicles, 78 artillery systems, 14 air defense systems, okay? And here we have pictures of the Polish army training teenagers on how to operate javelins, okay? If this is not a sign that European countries are concerned about a showdown with Russia, I don't know what is, okay? Literally teenagers learning how to use javelins. And the reason why they're learning is obviously if something were to happen and there was a shortage of manpower, the teenagers could potentially use the javelins if they had to in self-defense of their neighborhoods, okay? If there were any invading armies. It sounds crazy. A lot of these teenagers are being trained as part of like a high school ROTC program. Like here in the US, you have ROTC in high school, and then afterwards you go and join the military or you join college ROTC. That's kind of similar to what they're doing here, but very interesting that they would be teaching them how to use anti-tank weapons. And in the last 2 days, the Polish border guard has come under attack by migrants that the Belarusian regime has been releasing towards the border of Poland. And Poland has this big border fence now, but you can see these migrants throwing logs and sticks at the Polish border guards. You can see that big log there being hurled through the fence. And the Polish border guards are saying that on March 25th and March 26th, there were 243 attempts at illegally entering Poland from the Belarus direction. Okay, so looks like Lukashenko is releasing these migrants again to cause problems for Poland, and this is going to happen right before he launches a military incursion into Lithuania and possibly Poland. I'm telling you guys, it's just literally 20 miles to Vilnius from Belarus, okay? And if they have hundreds and hundreds of tanks, they could literally be in Vilnius in just an hour, okay? And NATO is now panicking, and they're sending whatever they have in the region, which is not much, okay? They don't have a huge NATO battalion in that area. The closest one is in Altius, which is closer to Poland and the Suwalki Gap, and that's a very small battalion. And the main battalion is in Kaunas, and Kaunas is like 100 miles from the border. So this is very concerning, guys. And, NATO, as usual, underestimating the threat, not putting enough troops where they're supposed to be. Why do they have a brigade 100 miles from Belarus? That doesn't make any sense. Okay, Belarus can literally go in and take large swaths of territory before that brigade is going to even reach Vilnius, okay? So this is very, very concerning, guys. I mean, Lukashenko could just storm the border and reach Vilnius in literally an hour, and by the time NATO even responds, you have your closest brigade right here in Altius, okay, which is pretty far, and then Kaunas, you have a pretty large brigade there, okay, but otherwise there's no protection here. I don't understand what the hell NATO is doing. Okay, they should have, thousands of troops here and tanks along this border. But anyway, that's the situation in Belarus. And tonight we have U.S. nuclear forces on high alert. We have a presidential doomsday plane in the air right now. It was looping over the Appalachians. You can see here it was doing multiple loops near southwestern Virginia, the Blue Ridge Mountains, and over the Daniel Boone National Forest. And it is now flying over Indiana. And it has a pretty interesting call sign, Nippy 62. We also have a Nuke Sniffer in the air. Okay, this is the second night in a row that we've had a Nuke Sniffer in the air, and there was also a Nuke Sniffer flying over the Sea of Japan yesterday, and then also today we have a Cobra Ball that was in the air over the Sea of Japan. A Cobra Ball is a missile detection plane. It can track ballistic missiles. So it looks like maybe Kim Jong-un is preparing a nuclear test. I don't know. But the fact that we've had so many nuke sniffers in the air the last few days, and then one over the Sea of Japan, and then a Cobra Ball tonight over the Sea of Japan, very interesting. And we have 2 nuclear war command and control planes in the air right now as well. So U.S. nuclear forces are on high alert. And here we have the flight path of the Cobra Ball that was flying over the Sea of Japan earlier. Okay, so something could be going on here very soon. Okay, here's the Nuke Sniffer that was flying over the Sea of Japan yesterday. And ISIS has released this picture on social media, and it has a caption, as you can see, that says, "Who is next?" And then it says Rome, Madrid, London, Paris. So this is very, very concerning, guys. Okay. Get prepared. This summer is going to be absolutely insane. We have ISIS now to deal with. We have the situation in the Middle East with Israel and Hamas and Hezbollah and the Iranian proxies and Iran and the Houthis. We have Belarus now. They're going to invade Lithuania and Poland. We have Russia with this concert hall attack, blaming Ukraine and the US. And they say that in the coming days, Russia, the FSB there, the KGB, their intelligence service is going to make an important statement about the concert hall attack, where they're basically going to blame America and Ukraine. And then the gloves are going to come off, and they're going to just absolutely pound Ukraine with missiles, with potentially chemical weapons, nerve agents, even nuclear weapons. They're going to send a massive army in. They may try to create that sanitary zone, maybe by blowing that dam in Dnipro that they almost blew up last week, by the way. Nobody's talking about that, but that would have been an even bigger ecological disaster than Nova Kakhovka Dam. Okay, they tried to blow the Dnipro Dam last week in a missile strike. They could finish that dam off and then flood the Zaporizhzhia nuclear power plant, and that would contaminate all of southern Ukraine and create a sanitary zone. He could deploy chemical weapons over Kharkiv or along the front line. So we have all these things going on. Okay, please get prepared. Be vigilant when you go out in public. Okay, it looks like ISIS is coming back, and France has officially activated their Sentinel program, which includes deployment of fully armed French special ops soldiers patrolling critical infrastructure and cultural sites. And the French parliament voted to increase the terror threat level in France to the maximum level. And the terror threat level in France is going to stay at the maximum level through the Olympic Games in Paris. Here we have a picture of some French soldiers patrolling what appears to be an airport. And the Italian Foreign Ministry called on its citizens not to travel to Moscow and advised those who were already in Russia to avoid crowded places. Okay, so it looks like there could be another attack in the coming days or in the coming weeks. And we have various sources in eastern Ukraine reporting about intensified movement of the Russian military and personnel in the Luhansk Oblast in eastern Ukraine. Apparently, a Ukrainian soldier with contacts in eastern Ukraine and the Russian-controlled parts of eastern Ukraine said that there were many tanks and BMPs being transported in the direction of the front line through Kadivka, Pervyamaisk, and Popasna line. And apparently there were some KAMAZ pontoon trucks and fuel trucks that were spotted in large quantities. Similar activity is being reported by residents of the Russia-occupied part of Luhansk Oblast near the border with the Russian Federation. The vehicles are moving in the direction of Luhansk and Debaltseve. Around 40 Ural trucks and 20 fuel trucks were counted only yesterday. So in one day, locals saw 40 Ural trucks and 20 fuel trucks. You know what you need fuel trucks for, guys? Tanks. Okay, tanks burn up a lot of fuel. You need fuel trucks to keep them going. Okay, so maybe Russia is going to start their offensive from the Luhansk direction, which is pretty interesting because a lot of people are focusing on southern Ukraine or Donetsk, but Luhansk is an area where not much attention is really paid to it. And so that would be smart if Russia tried to launch their offensive from that direction because it would be unexpected, okay? But looks like massive amounts of Russian equipment are moving through the Luhansk Oblast. Maybe they're going to try to retake Kupiansk and then maybe go back to Kharkiv. I don't know, okay? And the UK military lacks enough ammunition to protect the nation, a senior Royal Marines officer has warned. Lieutenant General Sir Rob McGowan told British politicians that the budget for ammunition does not meet the threats that we face. Okay, so very concerning. Senior Royal Marines officer saying the UK does not have enough ammo to protect their own country. And there was a massive kaboom in the center of Belgorod in Russia. Local sources reported initial reports suggesting that a drone strike hit the regional building of the main directorate of the Ministry of Internal Affairs. So it looks like Ukraine launched a drone at this Ministry of Internal Affairs building in Belgorod, Russia. And the situation in Belgorod is continuing to spiral out of control. Here we have some more footage coming from Belgorod. This is from just a few hours ago. Check this out. So I don't know if this is the Russian army shelling their own city to try to get rid of the Russian rebels. They've already done that a lot. Or if these are the Russian rebels doing this. But, I mean, listen to this. This is insane. It's literally a full-blown war zone over there now. And here we have video footage of a transformer used by the Ukrainian military on the border with Transnistria, which is a separatist-controlled area of Moldova. This was in the village of Yampil in the Vinnytsia Oblast. Apparently, some Russian separatists sabotaged this transformer all the way in Yampil in Vinnytsia Oblast, right next to Transnistria. So this is very, very interesting. Quite a big transformer there. And Israel is continuing to launch strikes on Rafah even after the UN Security Council passed a ceasefire resolution. So Israel has twice violated this ceasefire resolution. The resolution says that Israel cannot launch strikes on Rafah during Ramadan. Well, Israel has already launched 2 strikes, one yesterday, a big one yesterday, and then a smaller one today. And the U.S. base in the Conoco oil field in the eastern part of Syria was hit by 2 suicide drones of the Iranian-backed Shiite group IRI. So the Iranian proxies are slowly picking up their attacks again on U.S. bases. And there was an unconfirmed Houthi attack on a U.S. Emirati base on the Zukar Island in the middle of the Red Sea. Strong kabooms were reported. And we have footage coming out of China showing Chinese soldiers using mock-ups of Taiwan's cities as a backdrop for military exercises. And China targeted European lawmakers with cyber attacks recently. According to the U.S., hackers linked to Beijing's security services targeted European politicians to gather sensitive data. And this is the area in Ukraine where that transformer was sabotaged right next to Transnistria. Here we have a bunch of airplanes carrying military equipment going to southeastern Poland to supply Ukraine. They're going to the southeastern Polish city of Rzeszów. That's where all the military equipment has been flowing in. So here we have 2 flights. And then here we have 2 more. So NATO is sending some equipment to Ukraine as much as they can. So that's pretty much the latest breaking news that I have. I will be back tomorrow with more breaking news. And I want to let you guys know that this weekend is Easter weekend. So you might see a little bit less content from me with regards to breaking news updates. I will still be posting firearms content and outdoors content, but breaking news may be a little bit reduced as I celebrate the resurrection of our Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. So I'm going to try to post as much as I can, but if you don't see a lot from me on Saturday or Sunday in particular, then it's because of the holiday, and that's pretty much the reason why. So that's pretty much it, though. Take care, God bless, and don't forget the 3 Ps. Prepare, practice, and persevere. Guys, the world is getting crazier by the day. We're on the verge of World War III. The U.S. is drowning in trillions of dollars in debt. Inflation is at an all-time high, and there's no end in sight. So you need to prepare your finances for the future with precious metals. Precious metals are a great way to protect your hard-earned savings and retirement against inflation and the uncertainty of the stock market. Also, precious metals are good to have for the purposes of preparedness, to be able to barter with people for essential supplies if the grid goes down. Every prepper should have at least a small amount of silver coins. The company I trust for my precious metals is Midas Gold Group. Text NYPrepper to 232425 for free information on precious metals. Midas Gold Group is 100% veteran-owned and supports veterans through the Wounded Warrior Project. Midas Gold Group will work with you to convert part of your retirement savings into gold or to set up a gold IRA. And unlike many precious metals dealers, Midas Gold Group offers precious metals in small denominations, which is great for preparedness, so you have something tangible to use for bartering when the grid goes down. Precious metals have continuously risen in price over the past 100 years and are considered a safe investment. So text NYPrepper to 232425 for free information and to get started today.